I'm Jeffrey Wolt, Editor-in-Chief of Retail Media IQ. Welcome to our coffee chat. Today our guest is Michael Law, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing and Chief Commercial Officer at Eagle Labs. Michael, great to have you with us.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Excited to be with your team.
One of the most critical decisions a brand can make is who's going to manufacture the products. If they're not doing them themselves, they have to find a quality contract manufacturer. What criteria should a brand be using to determine who that partner should be?
We really believe that choosing the right co-man can be one of the most important strategic decisions for either an existing brand or a new brand. Things like assessing the quality control, understanding what certifications the company has, understanding the capacity and capabilities, what kinds of product forms they make, understanding the experience that they have in those various product forms is important. And then things like understanding cost structure, physical location, and really understanding the team that will be working with your team, and the cultural and values fit are probably what we call the 6 most important criteria in choosing a co-man.
Maybe you could drill down a little bit on those points, or some of those points, and tell us what kind of questions should a brand be asking to gauge a company's capabilities and also commitment to quality.
I would start with quality. Eagle Labs is NSF certified, and no matter what co-man you choose, choosing one that is NSF certified, we believe, is of critical importance. It really separates people that are managing your products on a much more professional basis versus those that may be doing it in a way that isn't going to deliver the best quality product. An NSF certification is basically a proxy for an FDA inspection and certification. The FDA doesn't visit every contract manufacturer or inspect or certify. It's a pretty simple process to get registered with the FDA. So an NSF certification is a 2 to 3 day on-site evaluation of all of your standard operating procedures, manufacturing processes, cleaning systems, and it basically ensures that you're putting out a product that is going to be safe and effective for consumers. So that's probably the most important one. Other certifications like NSF or organic or Health Canada registrations are things that Eagle Labs has that may be important to various clients. But really understanding the certifications is probably the most important thing that anybody seeking a co-man can do.
And of course, the manufacturing process is number one, I guess, on the priority list. But what other elements are important?
Yeah, we think it's important for a brand to think about not what their manufacturing needs are for today alone, but think about what their needs are going to be in 3, 4, 5 years. Ideally, you choose a contract manufacturer that you can grow with, one that can manufacture multiple product forms. For example, we make capsules, tablets, powders, liquids, lotions, and gummies. So if you just choose a manufacturer that makes capsules and you then want to branch into other product forms, you may have to start the process all over again, and you've just made your supply chain that much more complex. So understanding the product forms that they make is of critical importance, and the capacity that they have on each of those product forms is important as well.
How do you know that you're a brand and that the contract manufacturer's strategy and values and culture will align with what you want to do?
The best thing you can do is to do a physical site tour of the manufacturer that you're considering. A lot of brands feel that that's an unnecessary step. We really think it's an incredibly valuable step for a couple of reasons. One, you get to physically see that they are manufacturing. A lot of companies will represent that they manufacture when in fact they're brokers and they don't actually have a manufacturing footprint. If you come for a site tour, which we welcome any potential client to do, you get to see the powders being blended. You get to see the size of blenders that we have. You get to understand the capacity that we have. You get to see where things are encapsulated or tableted or liquids are filled. You get to see how the final packaging and labeling is done. You get to ask questions about lot coding and manufacture date versus expiry date. You get to physically inspect our certifications. So it's the equivalent of kicking a tire. This is like a test drive, and we really encourage companies to go and see the facility where their products are going to be made. And as anybody who's been watching the news lately knows, there are significant advantages to manufacturing in the U.S.
When you're sure that you found the right contract manufacturer and the values are right and all the things we've been talking about, how do you get down to the brass tacks of price quotes? What should a brand be asking of you and other contract manufacturers when it comes to price?
A lot of companies don't take that extra step to understand, okay, how are you going to determine the price that you sell to me? And we are very transparent in helping you understand all of the elements. So are you supplying any materials? Are you ingredients? Are you supplying any elements of the packaging? Are you supplying the label? So all of those things are components that go into the ultimate cost. When you come to us with a request for quote, we put your request for quote into a formal process that goes through our R&D team for formulation, through to our procurement team for pricing. Once that spits out a cost, we can give you a price, and that price is turnkey. Some customers do supply some elements of packaging or materials to us, but for the most part, we're a complete turnkey manufacturer. And then you can use that quote to compare across other co-mans if you so desire, and you can find out how competitive we may be. But price is just one element in the total package that Eagle or any manufacturer can provide you. If you're just shopping for the lowest price, you'll probably achieve that goal, but you might not find somebody who can deliver something on time or with high quality, or maybe a team that's going to be effective in the total relationship and strong communication.
What are Eagle Labs' thoughts about the current economic uncertainty and questions about the supply chain?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jeff, and it's a question that evolves on a daily basis, as you well know. So we're staying very close to the situation. We're talking to the multiple suppliers that we deal with. We probably have, I think, about 8,000 different ingredients and components that we currently source. So our procurement team is working tirelessly now to go through that list to understand what the tariff impacts are on costs and what those cost increase impacts might be on the total price to a given brand. Given the uncertainty, we're currently in a position where we will give a quote for a new product or new project that is really only good for that day, because we know tariffs could change the next day. So it gives the brand an idea of where we'll be, and they can compare that across other co-mans if they need to. And then we really lock in the price after the purchase order has been placed. In this dynamic environment, that's kind of how we have to operate. I can tell you what we're doing to mitigate the impacts is we're looking across other countries that sell similar ingredients to try to mitigate those cost increases by finding alternate sources of supply.
Well, this is great information, Michael. I'm sure there are a lot of brands out there, hopefully emerging brands, that are going to listen and be knocking on your door. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate the time.